The WBO welterweight title is retained by Terence "Bud" Crawford, moving to 35-0, 26 knockouts, scoring a very unusual TKO, 6 rounds over Amir Khan in an unintentional low blow. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It was very unsatisfying ending.
Anticlimactic, that's for sure. I was wrong in the sense that I thought Khan had a little bit more left in the tank, and I thought his punch resistance wasn't as, or it seems like it's gotten worse. No, I knew it was suspect. But could it get worse? Does punch resistance actually get worse? I don't know, but it seems like it has for Khan. He didn't used to get buzzed as often or as much. Look, the speed's still there, and he did have his moments, okay? But he's sort of like a guy, and I don't know why Roy Jones comes to mind, and I don't mean to make the comparison. Other than that, he's a guy who's gifted with great athleticism, but never really became fundamentally sound. Because I never see him really step in with that jab, followed up. The chin's always a little bit high. He throws those punches in bunches. But Crawford, who is just a savant there, when he timed him with that little counter right and went over the top, then I think at that point he knew, okay, I can hurt this guy anytime I want. I'm going to have there's going to be some defensive lapses because I feel comfortable in there. I think he would have fought him if he knew there was a potential of some damage coming back in a very real possibility of that, but there wasn't. And like I said, he did have his moments, but Crawford was in complete control.
The master.
He started off conventional and eventually switched to southpaw like he does, and got him out of there in impressive fashion. And I say I was wrong because I thought Khan might make I thought I was going to see the Khan that showed up for Canelo in the first few rounds, where it was really interesting and he looked very impressive. That's not the guy we have anymore. And I think there has been too many chinks in that armor, and we may have seen the best of him. But you know what? Like I said, I was always still a fan because he's a guy who never turned down a fight and still went in there to try to win.
Yeah, one note here. Talked to Virgil Hunter after the fight. He basically said that, hey, my fighter says he really couldn't continue, and he's already debilitated. I believe that they both kind of looked at each other, and there was this understanding. This ain't getting any better, and we're in New York City. And you know what's a lot in New York City? One-way traffic. And it was all Crawford's direction.
Hey,
and the other point you make...
The job of the trainer is to protect your fighter at all times.
Absolutely. And what you said about Amir Khan and the comparison to Roy Jones in that particular aspect is very apt. Yes, is that when you are young and you have explosiveness, twitchiness, and reflexes, once those things start to dull with old age, if fundamentally you do not correct your flaws, all of a sudden you are very vulnerable.
You will be exposed.
It's like a basketball player. A lot of these guys, when they're young and they could jump out the gym, they have the 45-inch vertical, they play over the rim. How many guys can become Vince Carter to evolve their game that even if they lose 7 or 8 inches off their vertical, they're still scoring 20 points a game? The one thing about Amir Khan, he doesn't control his speed. In that first knockdown, he doesn't understand distance and spacing.
Right.
And when you do that to Terence Crawford, he'll do a ginsu. He'll slice you and he'll dice you.
Yep.
And to see him as relaxed as he was in that ring, this is a guy that's going to be very difficult, and he's one of the most impossible fighters to really prepare for. You don't know if you're going to prepare for an orthodox fighter or a southpaw, because he's just as good out of either stance.
And he's the best at making adjustments.
Yeah.
He does understand distance and timing probably better than anyone. And I love that when he's got you hurt, he's got that nasty streak where he wants to take you out.
He's ornery.
He's an ornery guy. Yeah, and you know what? I kind of like that he's, I don't want to say boring, but a little, he doesn't play the game as much to want to try to sell the tickets. He's an old school fighter, goes in there. He's just kind of like a surly guy.
He ain't Mr. Personality.
Not Mr. Personality, but hey, he is. I'd rather that and have the guy go in the ring and do what he does than as opposed to a guy that's all talk and he gets in the ring and stinks out the joint.